Dutton Ranch, everything we know about Yellowstone's Beth and Rip spin-off series. As it stands, we are currently without a Yellowstone story blessing our screens now that 1923 has come to an end. But don't worry, folks. There's a whole host of spin-off shows on the way, including the Michelle Pfeiffer starring series, The Madison, and the Case Dutton-Luke Grimes spin-off show, Why Marshals. One story's development that perhaps even predates the airing of Yellowstone's final episode, though, is a show chronicling the future ventures of fiery hot power couple, Rip Wheeler. Although it was a team effort to bring Yellowstone to its final episodes after the disruption caused by Kevin Costner's turbulent departure, Reilly and Hauser clearly carried the most weight in its closing chapters. It should come as no surprise, then, that they've got their own story to tell now that they're happily married and starting a dynasty of their own. But who's been left holding the reins of Beth and Rip's world, and which characters from Yellowstone's past or future have a chance of making an appearance in it? Well, to paraphrase from a legendary star of another massive, universe-expanding franchise, Beth and Rip are part of a bigger universe. Y'all just don't know it yet. Who is starring in the Beth and Rip spinoff? When we last left Rip and Beth to plot out their future together, they'd obtained a small bit of land to call their own. The cast list prepped to tell their next chapter is representative of that. In 2024, Hauser and Reilly were the only confirmed names for the spinoff, even before the second half of Yellowstone Season 5 aired. After that, there was very little mention of any other names joining the ranks as permanent cast members now that the Dutton Ranch has been handed back to Chief Thomas Rainwater, Gil Birmingham. Both family and farm hands went their separate ways. Since then, the only other addition to the show has been Finn Little via Deadline. He's confirmed to reprise the role of Carter, the troubled teen who was taken in by Beth and Rip and treated like the son they never had, in a similar vein to how John Dutton took in Rip during his younger years. Given how things were left, there's no confirmation on whether Carter became an official member of the household. He might follow in Rip's footsteps of being the devoted ranch hand to the family that took him in. We're hoping the former, since it'd be nice to see if Wheeler's heart of stone cracks a little more and, after persuasion from Beth, adopts Carter as one of their own. What is the Beth and Rip spinoff about? Currently, the details regarding Beth and Rip's happily ever after story are unknown. The only information we have to go off is what we saw on the tail end of Yellowstone's final season. As far as we know, the two have set off on their own to start afresh, with Rip now running his own ranch and Beth presumably maintaining her position as a powerful business figure who could be setting up her own enterprise after the passing of her father. But, as Taylor Sheridan's original flagship show revealed, running a ranch and looking after the land connected to it is no easy gig, particularly given how much drama ended up on the doorstep of the Duttons. With that in mind, we can expect whatever story Sheridan has in place for the show's leading pair to come with the same level of tension and drama that they were a part of for 5 seasons. We just hope they find some portion of happiness in between as they try to start their own dynasty from the one they left behind, and the bodies that were buried under it. One thing we can absolutely bet on is that somewhere in between, the two will fight, make up, and kiss in a fashion that has you avert your eyes before the camera cuts away to horses galloping or some big mountain skyline. If it ain't broke. Who is directing and writing the Beth and Rip spinoff? While a small cast list is emerging in front of the camera, there's no confirmation yet about who is involved behind the scenes. The expectation is that Taylor Sheridan will return as showrunner, especially since Kelly Reilly made it clear that her only condition for reprising her role as Beth after Yellowstone ended was that Sheridan would be involved to oversee things. But if Taylor wants to write it, I would want to do it, she told Entertainment Weekly. That's it. Because he's the one that's written every single line I've ever said. Beth came from his imagination. It's not out of the question for someone else to handle things, though, given that's the tactic being applied to one of the other Yellowstone spin-offs, Why Marshals. The Case Dutton focus series, set to air on CBS, will be helmed by SEAL Team showrunner Spencer Hudnut, marking the rare occasion of Sheridan handing his characters over to someone else. Given that the Beth and Rip follow-up series feels like an unofficial 6th season to Yellowstone, though, it makes sense for Sheridan to be around to keep an eye on this one. As Yellowstone's executive producer Christina Voros explained to The Hollywood Reporter, "I think he has left the door wide open for any number of stories to come out of that romance, and because people are in love with them, I think an audience would be interested in seeing whatever story that would become." Will the Beth and Rip spinoff cross over into other spinoffs? It might be early days in the development stage for Rip and Beth's next venture, but it wouldn't be a shock to see their story branching off into others that Sheridan has planned, including newcomers to the area, where the Dutton name still holds some weight. While it's expected to be a more action-packed series than whatever affairs Beth and Rip will get up to, Case Dutton's Marshall's is very likely to interweave with that of his sister and brother-in-law. A conversation was even had between Case and Rip in the final episode of Yellowstone that, if help were needed, he'd be around to provide it. There's a high chance he won't be the only one turning up, either. Another show in development, but that still has a way to go, is 6666. It would have audiences catch up with former ranch worker-turned-rodeo star Jimmy Hurdstrom, Jefferson White. Last seen departing the Yellowstone Ranch in Season 4, it would be nice to see him come back to help out Rip as a thank you to the man who set him on a straight and crime-free path. It would also work as a great stepping stone for whenever that show comes around. Then there's the Madison, which could set up a new family of outsiders colliding with a happy couple and teeing up an undoubtedly brilliant showdown between Beth and Michelle Pfeiffer's character. Either way, expect drama and dusters aplenty, just like this happy couple has always managed to deliver.